you hate the thought of working past 55 or 60? Do you hate not being able to live the life you deserve today? Do you hate not knowing what your financial future looks like? It's time to stop doing what you hate. Here's your host, Mr. Harold Green.
Aloha everyone, this is Harold Green of Breaktree Wealth Management, and it is time to stop doing what you hate and start winning the retirement game for real. This is our special series, Financial Advice versus Financial Propaganda, the series where we expose hype, break down real strategies, and help you win with smarter decision making. And today, we're going to be diving into what they call the Wild West of financial misinformation, social media, money, gurus. They are everywhere. Now, I'm not saying social media money gurus are all bad and all wrong, but this is where anybody can become an expert overnight. Algorithms, they prioritize emotion over accuracy, and misinformation spreads faster than the truth. And millions of Americans, especially those nearing retirement, are consuming unregulated financial advice. It goes under the terms of like educational consulting or whatever. And they don't have their feet held to the fire. And some of these guys, I'm not sure if I'll get into it or not today, but some of these guys have actually been sued because of the hype that they put out around certain cryptocurrencies and different things like that. And the closer you are to retirement, the more dangerous this becomes. So today we break down why. And we're going to talk about the algorithm as the real influencer. So TikTok's hashtag and investing tag has over 20 billion views, 20 billion. And 57% of adults under 65 get financial info from social media. Not 29% trust influencers more than advisors. And here's something from MIT. They said false information spreads 70% faster than the truth. And algorithms amplify hype, not accuracy. And the closer somebody is to retirement, the bigger the consequences of following hype. You just don't have time to get this wrong. And now I want to get into something else, the archetypes, the 4 archetypes of social media gurus. And the first one is the day trading wizard. And before I get into this, I'm going to talk about something that me and the analyst talked about. We talked about this yesterday. And because this is an investment show, all investments carry risk of loss. Before you do any investing, make sure you understand your time horizons, understand your risk analysis, risk propensity, different things like that, because past performance is no indicator of future results. And in all investments, they do carry risk of loss. So before you invest, you got to make sure you create a solid game plan and that you're investing according to a well-balanced, comprehensive design plan that considers everything. And we were talking about this algorithm trading, how it's not nuanced, but that it's built around parameters. And it can be an up parameter, a down parameter. It's parameters based on news, what they read. If the position does this, that, or the other, it acts and behaves a certain way. It doesn't rationalize the trade. It performs according to how it's been trained. And so if you're watching a position go down and there's some real funky activity going on with it, we understand what that is. And that funky activity can drive everything else around the trading session that day. It can be low volume. It can be whatever. It can be a stock being hit for whatever reason. And we look at the news and we say, okay, this is just insane. It has to be algorithm trading, or even some of these day traders. Okay. Not all day traders are successful. So I want to talk about the first archetype. Like it's the day trading wizard. They claim huge gains every day. Like, bro, I'm killing it. The reality is like 70 to 80% of day traders lose money annually. And that's from the NASAA. 70 to 80% of day traders lose money every single year. Like, you know how they say don't try this at home? For real. So if 70 to 80% are losing it, that means what? Only 20 to 30% of day traders actually make money year over year in the market. And we don't even know what they make. I might do a show on that and dig into it and just kind of see. But day trading mimics gambling behavior and it's addictive. And retirees lose money 2 to 3 times faster due to emotional responses and reduced recovery time. This is insane. I talk to our people all the time and I say, look, it's not that you're not going to lose money in the stock market or your portfolios are going to go down. I don't like saying lose money in the stock market because the only way you can lose money in the stock market is to sell a position that's down and not wait for it to recover. And this is all that knee jerky reaction where they're like, this is all I got. It went down by 10 grand and, how long is it going to take to get that back? And if I get out now, maybe I can recoup it and, or just like not lose anymore and just kind of live on less. And I tell my clients all the time, you're going to open up your portfolio one day and you're going to see it up big. Don't feel good about it and say, man, I'm doing great. Harold's killing it. Don't do that. And when the portfolio is down, don't look at it and say, man, Harold lost me money. I'm going to fire his butt. He's losing me money. I was like, no, Harold did not lose you money. It's just your portfolio is down on paper. And it's only a problem if it's down on paper when we have to sell it. And this is where we create that bucket strategy where we have short-term money that's on safe mode, intermediate money that's on intermediate mode and moderate conservative mode, and then the long-term bucket, which is on very aggressive mode. So the ups and downs in each bucket is going to vary based on the level of risk. That's why it's important. The next type is the passive income real estate profit. Just buy rental properties and retire early. Hear this all the time. The reality is only 8% are meaningfully cash flow positive after all the expenses. It's pretty tough. And sometimes I tell people, don't be so gung-ho and caught up on real estate. There's a lot of variables dealing with real estate that you can't control, and it's a very time-intensive proposition. I'm not saying it's wrong, but you got to be fully devoted. Airbnb oversaturation and regulations, they hurt profits. And in Hawaii, they had the vacation rentals, and they passed a law that said, you have to apply to be able to do this. You can't just say, put it on Airbnb and say, I'm renting out my house, these rooms. You can't do that anymore because the streets were being overcrowded, right? There's nowhere to park. And you had all these tourists coming in and trying to stay for cheap during COVID. And the streets were just like, you can't even get through the streets. And it was a safety hazard, especially like if somebody gets, a fire and the fire truck has to come through. And Hawaii has like narrow streets. And so they changed the rules. And real estate is leveraged and it's illiquid. And it's very dangerous near retirement to be in an illiquid position. And the next one we're going to talk about is the crypto visionary. Like, this token will moon. Reality is like 24% of new tokens show pump and dump behavior. All right. So they pump it, they dump it. And there's also something called the poop it and scoop it, and I've talked about that in my shows. And so it's one or the other. Right. And the 2 trillion in crypto market cap evaporated in 2021 to 2022. And something like that just happened again with the Bitcoin. And influencers, they often get paid in tokens, and retirees become exit liquidity, right? Those guys are getting out while you're getting in, right? They're selling high, you're buying high, right? That's the problem. And then you got number 4, the quit your job side hustle guy, right? Or gal or guru. And if you work 9 to 5, you're just wasting your life. I hear that stuff. My wife is from Japan and she kind of tells me the stuff that they do in the Japanese influencers and how they're like on private jets and stuff. And reality is like 65% of online businesses earn less than $5,000 a year. What? Do the math. And 80% they fell within 36 months. So this is unsustainable. And it's a huge opportunity cost. The opportunity cost is massive for those near retirement. And then now we're going to get into something that's, how they say it's mind over matter? Well, the psychology that makes influencers effective is this. In retirement age, individuals are especially vulnerable to some things that we're going to get into. Confirmation bias. Okay. They have overconfidence bias. And they also have herd mentality. And then there's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. And then there's optimism bias. And these psychological traps make financial propaganda feel true. And the herd mentality is what I think it hurts more people than anything, because I hear this all the time. Like, I was talking to my friends and we were at McDonald's drinking coffee or wherever. I was at a party and, they're all doing this. And then I was like, we ain't doing that. Well, but this one person that, they're doing, I said, that's one person. Do you know their whole entire financial plan? No. Did they share that with you? No. You don't even know how much money they actually put in the thing. Did they tell you? No. But they said they're doing really well, and I trust them, and I know them for a long time. They're good people. I said, so what? I don't care. I don't care. It's the ultimate element of surprise. It will come back and bite you in your tail faster and harder than anything else you can ever imagine. And it's always at the wrong time. And that's why these psychological traps make financial propaganda feel like they're so true. And there's a lot of retirement specific risks that go along with this. Number one is the shrinking recovery window. And here's the thing, our track record is between 6 to 18 months when the portfolios go down on paper. We've got it down to as low as 3 months for some clients who give me the ability to be all gas and no brakes. But sometimes when they see the portfolio go down on paper, some people want me to put the brakes on and say, Harold, you know what? You're too aggressive, bro. Like, you need to slow down, bro. You need to slow your roll. And I'm like, you don't understand, do you? You don't understand. These chaotic moments that are being thrown at you give us the ability to recover the portfolio a lot faster. But if you're doing it on your own and you're out there in an S&P fund, anytime it crashes, and depending on how hard it crashes, now they've gotten smart. They put some of the top companies in the S&P that have huge profit margins and they recover very quickly. So the recovery time in the old S&P was about 5 years to recover any paper losses if you didn't touch it. Now it's like 2 years. And so we've gotten it down to even faster than that because of the option strategy that we choose. And here's the thing, losses late in life are just catastrophic. And I meet people all the time that say, I lost half of this, or I lost this and that. A 40% drop could mean 10 years of lost progress, right? A 40% drop. And it's only lost progress is if you see it drop 40% and you sell it. But if you're holding great stuff, man, just chill. And then we have the sequence of return risk. Losses right before or after retirement can permanently damage portfolios. And this is about, being like taking out money, right? So you're taking out money and the thing is down. That's why you have the 3 buckets. You got the bucket that doesn't move much. So you ain't got to worry about that because there's 5 years of money over there in that short-term bucket, or 6 years of money, or 7 years of money, depending on how much you have. You have time to let the other portfolios regenerate. You don't have to stress and worry. You can go on that cruise, go on that safari, help send the grandkids to college. You ain't got to worry about that. And then number 3, you got longevity risk. So a 65-year-old couple has a 50% chance that one spouse lives past 90. That's why in my financial plans, people say, hey, I'm gonna die at 88 because my family don't have they don't have longevity in their genes. And I'm like, well, I don't care. I'm putting your plan to 100. And if your plan doesn't go to 100, we got a problem. You need to fire me because there's a chance that something is going to come up, maybe something I don't know about, because I don't know everything about my clients. I don't know everything. They got stuff going on in their lives that they don't even share with me. It could be a problem. Number 4, liquidity needs. In retirees, they need liquidity. In crypto and real estate, they're not liquid. You have to divest of these things in order for them. So anything that's illiquid cannot be the large portion of your plan. It can be a portion of it, but it can't be the main thing. You have to diversify amongst asset classes. And then you have concentration risk. And the influence they push, go all in. Retirees must avoid this at all costs. You never go all in on anything. I say unless you're working with me, because we have safety valves in here. We have safety mechanisms so that it doesn't matter what happens. No matter what happens with me, you're going to be okay. Because I build in safety mechanisms, and I'll require my clients to go all in because I'm going to create a plan that covers everything. I hate it when a person says, well, Harold, you know what? I just want to give you this part of the money and then I'm going to do that. I really don't like that. But, if you give me the minimum, I'll do that. But then I don't want you disturbing me because you got other stuff over there that you're looking at and you don't like what I'm doing. I hate that. Right. If you're going to give me money to manage, let me do it. And then the thing is let me, like they say, let me cook. Just let me cook. All right. And if you don't like it after 6 months, you can jet, you can bail. You don't need to stay here the whole time. That's okay. But again, when you're dealing with people that are not regulated and not, they don't have compliance rules that they have to go by, you got to run. You can probably put a small amount of money in there. Like it's like going to Vegas. You're going to go with an influencer. Like, yeah, maybe try a small bit of money and see how it goes. Like, if it's just 5 grand and you got like 10 million, it's not going to kill you, right? It's like putting money in a slot machine. It's entertainment, basically, right? Now, I want to get into some case studies. And case study number one is Luna/UST. So it was marketed as a 20% risk-free yield. And $60 billion evaporated. And a lot of older investors were wiped out. Like they were wiped out. So many people are paying attention to information and then they lose their shirts. And I was asking my wife the other day, I said, why are people still doing this kind of stupid stuff? It's just stupid to have a large sum of money and then lose it because you did something stupid. Like you got to stop doing stupid stuff with your money. That's important. Okay. I'm not saying trust every Tom, Dick, and Harry financial advisor, but at the same time, if you talk to enough of them, I think we all as fiduciaries have our clients' best interests in mind. And even me doing the show, it's not for your entertainment value. It's just not. Now, am I getting entertained by doing this show? Yeah, I love doing my shows. It's fun for me. I love doing it. I love educating people. But at the same time, I have a fiduciary responsibility. Case study number two, the Airbnb arbitrage. Okay. TikTok made arbitrage look effortless. And if you don't understand the term, go and like Rocket or whatever, Google it, Rocket, ChatGPT it, OpenAI it, Microsoft AI it, Copilot it, whatever. Regulations changed, profits collapsed, retirees got stuck. Case study number three, the SPAC bubble. And you can go look up SPACs. Okay. These are certain types of acquisition companies where they create these things and celebrities pump them and they say, this is great. I'm getting in on it. A football star, somebody that's won Super Bowls and different things like that. They pump these SPACs and the average SPAC fell 70%. 70%. Pump and dump. They pump these things and they put them on the market and everybody's buying them. The Reddit crowd, hopefully these guys don't fall for it. Some of these guys are smart, but again, a lot of people are just looking at the superstars and taking their advice, right? Average SPAC fell 70%. And then case study number four, we're looking at the meme stocks. And according to FINRA, FINRA, the average meme stock trader lost 25% plus. And many were nearing retirement. This is crazy. And the next thing I want to talk about is how to protect your retirement. And there has to be like I said, a safety valve, a protection mechanism, or a protection framework. And so number one, you got to identify influencer incentives, right? Know how they get paid. I tell clients all the time how I get paid. I charge on average 2.2%. That money comes out of your Schwab account every quarter. A invoice gets uploaded into your e-money vault. You get to see what we charge. You get to see what you made. And that happens at the beginning of every single quarter. And if you have questions on it, we can talk about it. I also charge $3,500 to create the initial financial plan. And that's divided over 4 quarters. You don't pay it all up front. And if you're with me for a quarter and you don't like it, you can jet. Treat online financial advice as entertainment unless proven otherwise. That's all it is entertainment. And you got to look for the missing risk disclosures, right? You got to look for that. Like all investments carry risk of loss. Past performance is no indicator of future results, on and on. And you got to favor primary data sources, and then build a retirement plan around the following. Number one, diversification. I do believe in diversification, but it's diversification amongst asset classes. We have stocks, we have options, we have money market, we have income funds, we have dividend paying whole life insurance. Some clients have income producing real estate, but we have to make sure it's cash flow positive. And then there has to be some liquidity in the whole thing. And then you also have to have longevity planning. Like I said, 100. And you have to have a withdrawal strategy. And so one of my clients, Brian, I call him Brother B. He's in Japan right now. They're heading to, I think, Vietnam. And dude be going so many places. Like I told him, I said, bro, you know what? Just send me your itinerary for the whole year. All right. And then send me your travel budget, what you guys want to spend for the entire year, every year for the next 10, 15 years. I don't care. Just tell me what you're going to spend. And we put that in as part of his withdrawal strategy. So as I'm making trades, I understand what B needs in order to get the stuff done that he wants to do. Tax efficiency. This one is a little tough. And sometimes we get lost in the weeds on tax efficiency because not everything is about trying to save money on taxes. Like if you got 10, 15 million in your portfolio and we're generating 30, 40%, and we have to sell an option and pay the taxes because we sold the option, it was a short-term gain. Say it went up 300%, and then it starts tanking because we got in at the right time, we hit that low point, boom, that thing exploded. Everybody got on the boat, and then it's up. Now we gotta sell high, buy low, sell high, and then say, no, don't sell, Harold, because we don't want to pay the no. Take the money, put it in the bag. That's what we do. Pay the taxes. It's all good. Now, we do have some tax efficiency built in, but it's just not a large part because I'd rather make money and pay the taxes than wasting 10 hours, 15 hours trying to figure out a tax scheme. All right. It's just tough. Take the money, put it in the bag. All right. And then give Uncle Sam his part. And then risk manage growth. That comes through having a tactical portfolio, an active managed portfolio. None of this buy and hold, sit around, see what it's going to do, unless it's just companies that are going to be here 100 years later. And I'm going to end with saying this, and I want you to listen to me very carefully. If you want a retirement plan that's based on research rather than hype, you can go to my website, www.brightfg.com, click on Contact Us, send us an email saying you want to talk. Or you can contact my client concierge, Beverly, 808-521-4401. Your retirement deserves more than algorithms and influencers, okay? Let's build a plan that works for your future and not TikTok's future. Also, stay tuned for the next episode because we're going to hit it again. And until next time, everybody, 1, 2, 3, let's get it.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.